Welcome to Because You Need to Know. I am Edwin K. Morse, President and founder of Pioneer Knowledge Services. This series is your digital resource of valuable conversations with nonprofit and knowledge management enthusiasts from across industries and from around the globe.
My name is Bart Verheijen. I live in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and I live there with my wife and two kids. The interesting thing might be that we live below sea level, as by the way, most of the Netherlands are below sea level. I think roughly, it's more or less 50% of the country is below sea level. As some people say, God created heaven and earth. Only he didn't create the Netherlands. That was created by the Dutch themselves. So it was literally one from the sea, century-long challenge to sort of safeguard and protect the land and the cities and the people that live there.
And what was the word for that?
It's called polder, and it appeared to be, because I didn't know the English word, it appeared to be that the English took the word polder as well, because it's probably originates from the Netherlands and no one else had it before.
Got it. That is a historical word that when you look it up as definition, it actually cites it from your country. I mean, it's not like it happened anywhere else. Well, Bart, tell me a little bit about what the challenges are going into 2021. One, for your organization, your company, and two, for just knowledge management across organizations.
First, one step back for myself. So last year, I think, like for everyone, has been completely different than expected. Both, hopefully for everyone, also upside and possibilities that came up that you wouldn't have expected. And also, I would say, downturns and stuff going wrong or going completely in the opposite direction. And I think that's the same for everyone. I think it would be good to keep in mind the things that have improved and try and keep them. Personally, I've been able to take a lot more time for family, so for my close family. I haven't been able or be allowed, even by the government here in the Netherlands, to take time for more like the next step and next circle in friends. So some of my friends, I haven't seen them for well over a year now, and which is still, if you think about it, it's really awkward. People that you tend to see, like, I don't know, a couple of times a year, and then you all of a sudden haven't seen them for a long while. So I really would long for that. I cherish the savings in travel costs and time. I mean, it's so much more appreciated and accepted to do online conversations, to have video calls with people. Pros and cons, it's you shouldn't overlook people who have been in a bad place or who've been laid off, for instance, from jobs. Or, I mean, there are people who have been really tough. There have been people, literally people being very, very ill, people being still suffering the consequences, even if they did survive the bad state in the hospital. I think it's you shouldn't overlook that, but I think it's also given a new perspective on how much you can change in a really short time.
The word that keeps coming up for me as you're talking about this, as I'm listening, is that I think the term in industry is disruptive technology or disruptive circumstance. Globally, disruptive everything happened across the board, and there was positives and negatives that came out of that. Your company is really about understanding and getting a deeper understanding and visualization of how social networks are connected, correct?
Yes, I think that the networks and the knowledge networks in organizations. So what we do as a company is map those informal networks and make sure that people can connect both on a operational or tactical level to each other. So do team selections and all that. And what we see, and it's surprisingly, the need or demand for those networks increases a lot, because everyone's now on their own from their kitchen table or basement or attic or wherever they work from. So everyone's on their own. Everyone's looking for knowledge, looking for someone, for expertise to help them. So they're all on a quest to find that expert. in some ways, it's more of an equalizer. So we've worked with several companies who have like their core location, their headquarters, where let's say 80% of the people work, and then they have their local offices with like a handful of people. So either it be in one country, like there's the central, I mean, it could be in the US, someone who has their HQ in, I don't know, New York, and then they have their regional offices around the country. These regional offices would feel in the past pretty disconnected. Everything was already decided, and then you jump on a call and yeah, all right, the people from HQ, they already sort of aligned informally. They already know what they're going to do. By now, because everyone's online, everyone's only working from their home, it doesn't matter if you're in HQ or you're in some sort of really small satellite office, you're in the same level. So it equalizes the opportunity and the conversation.
I like that, because another barrier that I think a lot of organizations and pain points that come out of these communications across borders is time zones. Time zones always seem to be such a hiccup of trying to connect. And I think you're right. There is an equalization. And it's almost like an expectation has changed. The concept of connectivity. And I wanted to go back to your use of the word network, because network in this context is people, not technology per se. It is the network of how and who human connections, regardless of the tool set that connects them. You're looking at who talks to who, and you're also looking at being able to enable people to figure out in their network of organizational contacts who might know something they need to know.
Yeah, definitely. So it's, when I talk about network, it means indeed the social network, so the people network, if you want. It's something which is far wider and deeper than what we do. We try to give like more like a mirror image of the existing people network that's already there, and it's always bigger than your organization or your location or whatever. I mean, I hope that everyone in the world has more connections than just people at work. So you have your friends, your family, your neighbors. It's you as an individual. It's your direct connections and what you do or get discussed with them.
But the pinpoint goodness that comes out of your company, Guru Scan, is to alleviate pain of trying to connect with the exact person you should be connecting with, versus like a social network like Facebook. Facebook is not purposeful into that way, that pinpoint intent. LinkedIn is kind of getting there. LinkedIn's more in a work focus, but it's still not the pinpoint connectivity and deeper analysis that you can bring. So this is a great conversation, because we've talked about the ability of these networks, the social networks, to alleviate all the distance in time and geography and actually become closer in a digital way. What's the benefit going forward, regardless of where we're at in the pandemic and what things are going to be like this year? Let's not guess that, but how do you see organizations adopting new ways?
Well, I see that, for instance, especially if you take the connectivity in those social networks as a starting point, we see that it really helps them to connect peers together in, you can call that communities of practice or communities of experts or centers of excellence. I mean, they're all different words, but I think mostly used as community of practice. It means that it's a connection of experts who share some sort of domain knowledge, who are on the same level. They're all interested in, I don't know, Internet of Things, or they're all interested in a certain type of machine that you produce, or they're all like core experts in some sort of process that you deliver to your customers. And it doesn't matter if they're in South America or in Asia or in Europe or anywhere else in the world, because they can be connected because of the shared knowledge that they have. And that's the insight in who's connected to whom. We provide that, and we also connect them based on the content of their profile. So if you are not yet connected to those other experts, then we will use the content of your profile, so the knowledge profiles, as a way to sort of initiate the contact. Of course, people will have to pick that up themselves. They'll have to act upon that. We will not force them to do it, but we'll suggest that. And I think the big difference, of course, with the more open social networks is that, well, Facebook is an advertising agency, so they just try to steal your time and sell ads out of the picture. I wouldn't even dare to compare with them. It's so different. It's a whole other game. And I think even if you look at LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is more in the professional domain, and they're trying to get more of some knowledge profiling and connecting stuff in there. But in the end, if you look at what makes LinkedIn run as a company, is that they also sell the underlying data to recruiters or recruitment agencies.
Their agenda is probably a little in the cloak stage, as they're owned by Microsoft.
Yeah,
but there is some cool integrations with all Microsoft products. There's some huge benefit there. So to wrap things up, are there integration possibilities like that to where you can integrate with a CRM in all those sorts of possible dynamic things an organization might really want?
Yeah, so we're doing that at different points and different levels. I think in the end, both for your knowledge and knowledge collection, I think you should be in the way of working. It should be like almost either an integral part of your work, or it should be a like more or less like a carbon copy of your work. So if you file something at your work, the system will make like a carbon copy and takes a little change in the knowledge system as well.
You don't want to add another task, right?
No, not another. Edwin, great. You just got you just got this budget for your project. Perfect. Now you will have to add that topic to your knowledge profile or something.
Right.
No, we can get the data from the stuff that you put in the project description. It's already there. It's something you already put up. We can reuse that and sort of make that part of your knowledge profile as well. We can reuse stuff that you've been writing. Well, we're still trying also to do that. There are lots of examples already that do that, like scan data and scan mailboxes and stuff like that. That's generally not the approach that I find really helpful, because it also gives a lot of garbage. So it's garbage in, garbage out. If you scan like tons of emails, that might give you an impression, but it's almost never really good. So you can use that for suggesting things. You can say, well, hey, Edwin, you want to build your knowledge profile. We can help you with that. If you give us permission to scan your mailbox, we will give you a couple of suggestions from that mailbox, which you can then either confirm or deny. Thereby, we have looped you in. We've introduced the power and the ability of modern day computing and artificial intelligence type of technologies, but we haven't sort of overruled your human perception and your own insights in that.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, because an automated system could give you a bunch of stuff that's not really positive.
It gives maybe very what do you call it, indecent results, or it gives you nonsense, so not usable results. So
it's funny you bring that up, because in the last couple of purchases from Amazon, I don't know who thinks this is smart. It's like, I've already purchased the item, and it's like a day later, I get an email. Oh, you may also be looking at, like they're giving me alternatives long after the sale's done. And I'm like, what?
I just bought a really nice headphone. I don't need another one. I only have one hat.
And any creativity going on in your one head over there? What else you got cooking?
Well, I also took the time because of all the lockdown stuff that we had going on. So we were all confined to the like home and office, and that was about it. So I took the time to finally start writing down some of the concepts behind the company. So, I mean, we're using lots of different knowledge management perspectives and ideas. I mean, it's more or less like a giant mix, like a melting pot of all kind of different ideas and concepts, and all of them. I mean, I think like Isaac Newton said, like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. So it's all we're using the Polanyi for the knowledge definition and knowledge concepts. We're using network technology, network IDs from Granovetter, for instance. IDs on transactive memory systems, how people connect together and localize knowledge also in their like extended brains. So, but I took the time to finally sit down, and I got some assistance as well. So had a co-author to write a book about it. So we put it all down.
Is this going to be a how-to book or?
No, it's not really a how-to. It's more like like guiding concepts of I think we've called it, we have a working title which is called expert management. So instead of doing knowledge management, we consider knowledge to be only available or only existing in people's heads in the end. So therefore knowledge management should be about people management or expert management, to give that some extra additional level.
Thank you very much, Bart. I wish you great success in 2021. Thank you.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Because You Need to Know is designed to bring people's experience and their knowledge forward to be shared. I'm Edwin K. Morris, and I thank you for joining in to listen to another conversation brought to you as a public service of Pioneer Knowledge Services, a nonprofit tax-exempt organization with a charitable knowledge management purpose. Find us online at pioneer-ks.org and add your voice to the conversation on Facebook.